This first one is gonna be all about Cheesman Park. And Cheesman Park is a very famous park here in Denver. And one of the kind of unknown stories about Cheesman that not very many people know about is how there are rumors that there are actually a ton of buried bodies still underneath the ground in this Cheesman Park area. So originally, Cheesman Park was a cemetery called Mount Prospect, and this was back in 1858. However, about 40 years later, by the 1890s, the city of Denver realized that this would make a much better park than cemetery, so they made the decision to relocate all of the buried bodies and turn this into Cheesman Park. They hired an undertaker. His name was E.P. McGovern, and let's just say he didn't do the best job. There's rumors that he used child-sized coffins, even for adult bodies that he had to cut up just to fit and move to their new location. Many of the graves ended up never getting claimed and moved at all, and there's rumors that hundreds of bodies can still be found underneath in Cheesman Park. Another crazy story about this is Cheesman Park is actually right next to the Denver Botanic Gardens. If you guys haven't been there, check it out. It is an incredible place to go. And it is very beautiful, as you can imagine. You know, it's the best botanic garden in Colorado, in my opinion. And what's funny is since it is right next to Cheesman Park, there were a lot of workers at the Botanic Gardens that have also reported over the years when they've been doing different excavation and just redevelopment projects at the Botanic Gardens where they've actually found human bones. Now, whether this is just people that are kind of feeding into this, there are also a lot of different various recollections and people reporting that they've had strange, unusual, supernatural experiences both in Cheesman Park and then also in the Denver Botanic Gardens. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. It's still a beautiful park regardless, but it might not be the best place to let your dog off leash and start digging a hole in the ground. Just be a little cautious on that one. But I thought this was a fun first story to share with you guys. Again, all about Cheesman Park and how there are reportedly still hundreds of bodies buried right there. And one last little bonus before we move on. If you guys are at all familiar with who Alfred Packer is, and I remember learning about him way back in the day when I was in, I think, elementary school. He was the first cannibal that I'd ever heard of. Didn't even know what that was until I learned about Alfred Packer.
She'll have to match wits.
I'll help you catch him, Clary.
Believe me, you don't want Hannibal Lecter inside your head.
But another interesting burial story is that he is actually buried here in Colorado in the Littleton Cemetery. And as you can imagine, there's been a lot of dark humor and just interesting artifacts and props left at the gravesite over the years. Everything from raw meat to plastic skeletons. Kind of funny in my opinion, but I never knew that until I was actually researching for this video, just to talk a little bit more about other famous burials here in the Mile High City. Alfred Packer.